Hello everyone! This video is on the chapter Reproduction for the level of Grade 9 Biology. It is a product of a collaborative work between Mr. Shakil Achia of the Mauritius Institute of Education and Mrs. Pia Bacchus, Biology Educator. This presentation may be used alongside your MIE Biology textbook. So let's start. Reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the production of new individuals of the same kind or of same species. As you can see in the pictures, the cat will produce new little individuals just like itself. Another example, a dog will produce new individuals resembling itself, that is, sharing similar physical characteristics or traits. For example, having same ear shape, body shape, eyes, etc. So here we come to the definition of the word species. Species means a group of organisms which have characteristics similar to each other and most importantly have the ability to produce fertile offsprings, which will in turn produce individuals of the same kind when they have reached maturity. In your textbook, terms like new individuals, offspring, youngborn have been used to describe the new individuals formed through the process of reproduction. Now let's move on to the importance of reproduction. Reproduction maintains the continuity of life, that is, the production of young ones, like themselves, to continue the survival of their kind. Let's take an example. If I was the last human being on Earth, and I die of old age, a disease, or any other cause, without having been able to produce new offsprings, this would be the end of the human race. So without reproduction, any species would go extinct. Therefore, through reproduction, we are only ensuring the survival of our kind. This is the importance of reproduction. Now let's move on to the types of reproduction, which can be classified as asexual and sexual reproduction. In this video, asexual reproduction will be explained in amoeba and yeast, whereas sexual reproduction will be explained in human. So let's begin with asexual reproduction in amoeba. As you can see in the diagram, an amoeba is a single-celled organism, which at one point will reproduce asexually to produce other individuals like itself. It begins by duplicating its nucleus, that is, the nucleus makes an exact copy of itself, resulting in two nuclei in the cell. The cell will then divide to give two cells having the same genetic material and sharing same physical characteristics. The two cells are said to be genetically identical to each other and also identical to its parent cell. Asexual reproduction therefore involves only one parent and producing two individuals which are identical to each other and also identical to the parent cell. Likewise, in yeast, the nucleus divides, that is, makes an exact copy of itself, resulting in two nuclei in the yeast cell. Then a new yeast buds off the parent yeast cell, and in the end, producing a new individual which is identical to its parent yeast cell. Now let's move on to sexual reproduction in humans. Here we have two parents involved, a female parent and a male parent. Each parent produces a special type of cell as from the age of puberty. A female produces an egg cell, whereas the male produces a sperm cell. The nuclei of both egg cell and sperm contain half the genetic material compared to any normal human cell. A normal human cell contains 46 chromosomes, but the sex cells are the only cells produced by the body which contain half the number of chromosomes, that is, 23. After sexual interaction has taken place, the sperm cell meets the egg. Meets the egg, as here in the picture, during a process called fertilization. At this point, when 23 chromosomes from the sperm cell fuse with the 23 chromosomes of the egg cell, the 46 number of chromosomes is restored. This zygote is the first cell formed after fertilization and contains 46 chromosomes. The zygote will then divide into 2 cells, then 4, then 8, until it forms a ball of cells, which will eventually develop into a fetus, which will finally develop into a baby, which is the new offspring produced as a result of sexual reproduction between the female and the male parent. Now we move on to the next slide, which summarizes the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction involves only one parent, whereas sexual reproduction involves two parents of different sexes. Asexual reproduction produces offspring which are genetically identical to each other and to the parent, whereas sexual reproduction produces offspring which are genetically different from each other and to the parents. Example of asexual reproduction is in amoeba and yeast. An example of sexual reproduction is in human. Asexual reproduction does not involve gamete formation and fertilization, whereas sexual reproduction involves gamete formation and fertilization. Well, I hope you appreciated today's lesson. Before we part away, I will leave a homework for you to complete, and we will correct it in our next video. Stay tuned.